Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.
Republic of Nigeria. I didn't say federal. I said of the Republic of Nigeria. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, I represent an organization, Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond, ASCAP. We sent a memorandum to the National Assembly last year. I'm going to restrict myself to that memo. Essentially, we're making a case for the poor, the masses of our people, who are generally not represented in fora of this nature. We only talk to ourselves as members of the elite and the privileged people in our country. We are saying that whatever constitution you are going to bring out, if chapter 2 of the Constitution, the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy, if that chapter is not made justiciable, there can be no political stability in Nigeria. The point I'm making is this: the areas that guarantee right to education for every Nigerian child, right to health, right to pension, right to living minimum wage, right to good, adequate housing, and right to unemployment benefits when you are not given a job or when you are unemployed. Those provisions are in chapter 2 of the Constitution. But members of the ruling class conspired and agreed, regardless of political affiliation, that those provisions of the Nigerian Constitution shall not be enforceable or made justiciable. We are therefore warning that unless we are prepared to make those provisions justiciable, enforceable, this country will know no peace. Concretely, we are submitting that the Child's Right Act, enacted beautifully by the National Assembly in 2003, be made applicable throughout Nigeria. We have to work it out. As of today, only 25 states have adopted that law. But even then, they are not being implemented. Some of the states that have refused to adopt the Child's Right Law, some of them include Zamfara, Borno, Katsina, and all those states where banditry and terrorism have virtually been institutionalized. So if we don't send our children to school, because we have 40 million children today, children of the poor roaming the streets, and that is where bandits, kidnappers, terrorists, and all of them recruit on a daily basis. We have this Disability Act. We thank you, National Assembly, you have enacted the disability bill into law, but it's not working. It's only a federal matter. We must take care of millions of people who are physically challenged in our country and ensure, again, that we make it applicable throughout Nigeria. We have the Compulsory and Free Basic Education Act of 2004. It should be made applicable throughout the country. The Pension Reforms Act. We must have equal treatment of workers. And I'm going to plead with you. Learn from what some African countries are doing. In South Africa today, in Ethiopia and Rwanda, the cabinet of the government is 50-50. 50% women, 50% men. So here, when you say, oh, we shall make it 35%, as if you are doing women a favor. Women constitute more than 50% of the population of our country. Therefore, we must now make it a matter of law that representation in government at federal, state, local government, all of them, will be the genuine representatives of our people. But when you just make it a tokenism, oh, we have some 6 women ministers, and we are very proud. Whereas some African countries, I think Rwanda, about 80%, no, 75% of the legislators are women. And we must move along with Africa, other African countries. And I'm going to suggest, and I think a member here, I've been trying to sponsor social security bill. I think it is high time we make the social security bill to work. People have no jobs, we must be giving something at the end of the month. Otherwise, they are going to make it impossible for the rich and all of us to enjoy our freedom. Let me say something, man, that the ruling class in Nigeria is not just about this constitution. Apart from the constitution, I don't know how you are going to do it. We must prescribe sanctions for impunity. Our country is ruled not by rule of law, it's by rule of rulers. People commit all manners of offenses, and there is no sanction. So whatever you are going to do, I beg you, let us look at how we can make the constitution work. We must commend the current national assembly. You have guaranteed judicial independence by making it possible to have financial autonomy. But for the past 7 weeks, all Nigerian courts have been shut down because our powerful governors have refused to recognize the independence of the judiciary and the legislature. The point I'm therefore making, it is no longer enough, it's not sufficient to talk of restructuring in the air. It's no longer sufficient to talk of devolution of powers. A number of powers have devolved to the states between 1999 and now. And I've just mentioned one. But what has happened, with profound respect, those powers, local government elections, local government fund, absolute control, federal government shall not monitor local government funds, and I can go on and on and on. What has happened to those powers? They have been cornered by state governors, and those powers have turned them into emperors. We want a country run by Democrats. We want our democracy to be manned by Democrats. But if we simply say we want devolution of powers without responsibility, we're not going to make progress. I therefore suggest that restructuring must be horizontal and vertical. If those powers are transferred from the center to the states, those powers must be democratized and not cornered by any group of people. We are suggesting for our committee that under the current constitution, there is no federal government police. There is no federal government police. What we are supposed to have is Nigerian police, federal police. That police, I'm reluctant to use force because we are suggesting here we should no longer be talking of Nigerian police force, but Nigerian police service. Because a force was created by the colonial regime to mold down our people. of the police is big space with an elephant inside the circle to mow down the people. We should now be talking of Nigerian police service. The Nigerian police service, with profound respect, is supposed to be administered by the president, the 36 state governors, the Inspector General of Police, and the chair of the Police Service Commission. But what has happened? Because our governors have abdicated police powers to the president alone. Hence, we are now in trouble. That is why the Nigerian Police Council does not meet. What are the powers of the Nigerian Police Council? Honorable and distinguished Senator, police force shall administer, supervise, organize, and supervise the Nigerian police force. That power is exercised exclusively alone by the president. This has to stop. And if we are going to have state police, I'm going to beg you, the salaries, the funding has to be from the source. You know what I mean, sir? You can't have policemen and women armed to the teeth without salaries at the end of the month. Or you are just going to have armed robbers in our country. So that is why, for those who are calling for state police, let us also agree that the funding of the police will be from the center. Let me now conclude by pleading with you, the members of the National Assembly, to stop transferring more powers to Abuja. Stop consolidating more powers in the federal government. That is what is currently going on. I just read it now. The president was signing one bill, planning something big. And please, I beg you, whatever is not in the exclusive legislative list or the concurrent list, I beg you, don't go there as you have been doing. On the exclusive legislative list, I'm sure you have been told there are about 68 items. They cannot be justified. Those were powers put in the Constitution by the defunct military dictatorship in Nigeria. Because they thought, and they were right. Out of the 4 presidents we have had, 2 have been former military dictators. So they tailored the Constitution to suit the psyche of dictators. And that is why 68 items, all manners of items, are included in the exclusive legislative. I'm begging you, you must streamline them and reduce them substantially so that the other filtrating units in our country can manage their own affairs. Let me end by pleading with you to appreciate that time is not on the side of the ruling class. As we are gathered here, some parts of the world of the country, southeast, northeast, northwest, a civil war is going on. In fact, in some parts of the country, the 2023 elections are already in jeopardy. INEC offices are being burned, police stations are being burned. In that kind of atmosphere, we cannot pretend that there is political stability in our country. I therefore plead with you, and you return to Abuja, please invite the president and sit down with him. What can we do very quickly to reclaim this country, which is currently on the verge of collapse? The country is on the verge of collapse. And therefore, for the constitutional amendment to be meaningful, for us to have a genuine side for these amendments you are proposing to take root, there must be peace and stability. And you can only have peace and stability if you address the problems confronting the people. The right to self-determination is guaranteed by Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights Act. If you don't want people to break away from Nigeria, you must give them confidence. Don't declare a war. This business of go and shoot on sight. Anybody demanding for a new separation or whatever, please, let us have that last sentence.
Sir, I know. We really enjoyed your contribution. So, but we are even going to give you about 2 minutes.
Just one.
Do we all agree? It's not being favored, but we want to hear from you.
Just 1 minute.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I therefore want to conclude. I want to conclude by urging our legislators, when you return to Abuja, to ensure that we abandon the path of hostility, and the federal government must be persuaded to embrace dialogue with all Nigerians who are dissatisfied with lopsided appointments and instability. Thank you very much. Distinguished.
No clapping, please. Please, no clapping. Thank you very much, Mr. Femi Falana, SAN. Department of Political Science, University of Lagos, please, 3 minutes, just make it fair. Body of Mulan should please get ready.
Contribution for the autonomy of local governments. Without wasting much of our time on this, we know very much well that that tier of government, if truly is an arm of government, is the closest to the people. I would strongly advocate that this council should please request that the local government autonomy should be given a great concern. It is that center that has the people.
Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.